council tax debt balance currently stands at around £3.2 billion. That's about a 33% increase from around 7 years ago when it stood at £2.4 billion. The way that councils collect council tax is through the Council Tax Administration Enforcement Regulations from 1992, which is obviously quite old now and hasn't enjoyed the same level of continuous improvement that central government debt management has enjoyed. We're now into a situation whereby the regulations are obviously unable to collect all of that debt, and what we'd like to do is to try a different approach to those arrears. The liability order that the local authority has to apply to the court for will add an average of £84 to a person's debt. The letter that the bailiff will send out, a notice of enforcement, adds £75 to a person's debt. And the first visit adds a further £235. So you could be in a situation where you couldn't afford to pay £100 worth of council tax and your debt is very quickly over £500. These current recovery options that are laid into the legislation pass the cost onto the person in debt, which essentially makes them free at the point of use for local authorities, which further incentivises them to use those methods when they're short on funding. What we have to do is to find an innovative way to enable local authorities to pay for collections that are fairer to consumers. Indesser is able to bring to bear the intelligent application of analytics to optimise collection strategies based on individual circumstances. The cost of delivering public services will increase year on year, and therefore council tax also increases in order to cover that cost. We see that 8.3 million people can't afford to pay their council tax and other household bills, and that's can't afford to rather than won't pay. And you even get to a situation where some people are actually committed to prison for non-payment of council tax. Over the last few years, this has averaged out at about 100 people every year being committed to prison. Therefore, we'd really encourage local authorities to engage with this new offering and try a different way of collecting their debt. It can identify vulnerability, it can identify cases where people are insolvent, and we can then take the right action on the right case at the right time.